Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the first semifinal round of the day. You're watching Team SoloMid up against Torch. Discover who's playing what and where they're going for what team. The bottom side of the map on the green grass, we've got TSM defending the Order Titan this time around. We got Young Bay on Apollo, starting with that Heartseeker. Zimstar on Baka, standing in for Trix Tank. Cubo Fred on Bastet. In the jungle, Lobster taking the God of the Sky. Zeus down the center. And Game Hunter on tier in the solo lane.
Fourth seed Team Torch is going to try to find their way for the second time into the finals. Going through TSM, that's going to be High Rock playing, it looks like solo tier?
Solo tier.
Solo tier. Spoo going to be going mid lane, strangely enough, with the Zhang Kui. Shadow Nightmare, I think, is jungling.
What?
Emilito going support with Sun Wukong, and Funball's going to go play the Hunter role, but this is a major swap here. It looks like High Rock has given up the jungle to go solo, Spoo has given up the solo to go mid, and Shadow Nightmare has given up the mid to go jungle. They've done a quick switch.
You know, I kind of like this because High Rock was just not being effective in the jungle in most situations, and they really needed that kind of, hard-hitting jungler to come out and be there, and it didn't seem like it was his role of choice. We've seen him play a lot of roles in the past, especially on bipolar methods, so I guess they're going to swap it up and put him in the solo lane and put Shadow Nightmare in the jungle. We know Shadow Nightmare was a big proponent for them, and honestly, one of the most reliable aspects of their play was that Shadow Nightmare mid, so we'll see how Spoo can do in the mid lane this time around. Funball being as Funball does, Emilito in the same role as well, so they're going to kind of do that little musical chairs, as you mentioned. Left side, looks like initiation here on top. Emilito too deep. Why is he so far into that buff camp? He is guaranteed to be forced out and take a lot of harassment, but that Ox is going to be a great choice. Honestly, I love the fact that he went Ox instead of Cat or Bird there. Just made sure that he is guaranteed to get out.
You know, people always use the Bird, but the Ox has such insane potential. It's still immune to knockback, still immune to slows. You just lose a little bit of movement speed, but you also do damage, and you actually force a knockback yourself. It's such an incredible option that I don't think enough people utilize.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and I see this time and time again. You see Sun Wukong go, cat form up against a Neath, and they just get rooted. How do I get closer?
Or
they get
squalled.
Squall. Yeah, Squall gets hit. It's just, the Ox is so useful. Use it more.
It's a little bit less damage, sure, you don't get the stun, but you're still getting a knockback. You're still getting some damage. It's much better than just being a very slow cat.
The slowest cat ever known. That turn radius is also very difficult, whether you're Ox or Cat, but again, you see a lot of times where the Cat kind of just misses the mark, or you'll see this a lot with characters like Momona with Clear the Path, or Geb with Rollout as well. That turn radius is so hard to deal with, and a lot of players aren't prepared to utilize it properly. High Rock right side, using that Gunner's Might to clear the wave, and Game Hunter is going to get a minion damage out on top, forcing it back towards tower. Actually good, effective clearing there from Game Hunter. He's going to get one last guard stance power cleave to heal him back up, and he's good to go. Zimstar going for the EU meta, steal that damage buff possibly, or is he just kind of hanging out? I don't know what he's up to here.
He's getting a little creepy running around the map there. Cubo Fred going to be found out by Shadow Nightmare. He's going to be forced to pounce here until, of course, that means Zimstar rotates in. Both these mid camps should be coming up very shortly. Shadow Nightmare is going to be forced into a pretty big fight here. High Rock's taking a lot of damage here from Game Hunter. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away from this one. Gungnir's Might's going to activate. He's super low. Left mid camp's going to go to Torch. Right camp is going to go to TSM, as High Rock will be forced underneath his tower, as Game Hunter just greedily is looking for this kill.
He needs to hit level 5, and he's going to hit level 5 before High Rock does, especially if he clears this wave quickly, and High Rock has to be prepared for it. There's level 5. Lawbringer is available. If you get behind him and bring him into the wave, that'd be detrimental for High Rock's health, to say the least, and he's playing it back here. And the gods should not be off cooldown. And one thing we haven't talked about today, just yet, DM, is the fact Hog, 60 seconds to 90 seconds, that is a huge blow to a lot of roles.
90 seconds is a very long time, especially when you're used to using it to clear every other wave, especially as a character like Tyr, who can group them up so easily. So, Dry Bear.
Me.
High Rock is supposed to be their jungler. So why wouldn't Game Hunter pick up Summer Gaia?
I was about to talk about it there, and he was expecting Spoo. Spoo's always a soul laner. Junque's there. He's going to pick up Stone of Gaia, and then he's going to find High Rock here. A little bit surprised, but, the other side of this is it hasn't changed the lane at all. Game Hunter is still winning, still controlling it, even with the Stone of Gaia start. that's going to delay his build. If he wants to go down the same road, he certainly can. And he does still have a magical jungler that's going to come in the lane, and he might honestly just finish it out anyway.
You can see level 6. Do you think he's going to go for it? You think he's just going to rush into boots here? Mystical Mark could be started. A Void Blade. He just finishes it up.
That's what I expect. I mean, honestly,
really
Odin hasn't been harassing him enough. He hasn't been controlled in the lane. Hyrox is losing through and through. And really, if he finishes Sonagaya, not only does he have that passive regeneration, 2% of your max health every 5 seconds, he also has mana regeneration, HP regeneration flat, and magical protection. So if Freya ever comes over, he's perfectly safe. And honestly, you look at it empirically, the only way Hyrox is going to get back into the solo lane is if the jungle comes for effective gank, and that's prevented with Sonagaya. Mid lane, Zimstar jumped on, recalled Demon, Zeus ultimate, getting some good effectiveness there. Freya up in the air, Shadowhammer hits home on that one. Lobster jumped on by Emilito, Sprint gets activated. He needs a 3-charge, and he doesn't get it in time. Emilito, with the assistance of the minions, will get the kill, but Young Bay gets the kill in the back end. It's a 2-for-2 exchange, blow for blow. Cubo Fred just goes right for the mid camps afterwards. It looks like right camp, Game Hunter wants Freya. Can he get it? Shadowhammer in trouble, spots it out. No ward there. Actually, does he know he's there?
I don't know. Shadow Nightmare does not have that Valkyrie's discretion available to him before actually missed the banish onto Zimstar, which caused a little bit of a ruckus there. But getting in there, I'm really surprised right there that we saw him go for that kill onto Zeus and then not only get it and then die right afterwards. Honestly, usually you don't want to trade the support. It's usually not a good idea. But in this case, I think it was a great idea. Lobster's going to get a few levels of boots, sure, but Emilito finishes up the Midas boots and gets a level of Eye of Providence. This is going to ensure that he has better jungle control now over Zimstar, who still doesn't have Midas boots done, who only has level 1 of the actual ward. So, I mean, this is a very, very big deal for Emilito and could really skyrocket the dual lane.
We saw the support slap fight in the jungle there, and we call it slap fight because it usually doesn't result in anything, but actually Emilito drops Zimstar down to half HP and forces him home, so a great pickup there. Right side lane solo, Hyrox and Game Hunter going head-to-head. You're going to see the effect of that sort of guy there when they're trading blows now. Odin starting to pull ahead in the damage output here, but again, Game Hunter is still safe from Freya, which you haven't had much presence from junglers in the solo lane yet at all, so waiting for that to start up here. Hyrox about to finish off his Mystical Mark. Going to help him a lot considering the fact that he's up against a double physical with Cubo Fred in the jungle on Bastet. Game Hunter in the solo lane on Tier. So a double physical Mystical Mark is exactly what he needs. He's going to get it here. Surprisingly enough, in that last engagement, like you mentioned, DM, it was the mid and the support that went down. Very reflective there. Zimstar gets jumped on. There's the spin. Cat's coming out on her, forcing him out of the fight. Cubo Fred surrounded here. Banish is going to press some of the damage, but not going to save him. Cubo Fred jumps up the wall. Will the demon get it? It looks like the over-the-wall shot from Freya will continue it, but he actually cancels his ultimate early there, getting shut out now. Zimstar in a lot of trouble. The dunk from Paul is going to come through. Emilito going to get low, but how much damage is needed? Young Bay gets the kill. It's going to be a 2-for-1 exchange. Then it comes out from Shadowhammer. Can Young Bay chase this down?
That impale, that banish, too godlike, gonna keep Young Bay out. He was undeterred by the first shot, but then sent into the nether realm through the banish. Healing coming out here for Spoo, as you can see him using that exorcism with the exposed evil already activated to try to heal him up a little bit. That's going to bring the first real, push of the game. Torch actually manages a 300 gold lead. At this point, we've seen it kind of spike up and spike down, but this is the first engagement that has truly been won. And now Lobster getting sent down very low. We see a rotation coming over. Game Hunter's looking for an opportunity, is just going to find himself in favor of Hyrox right now. I'm really surprised to see Hyrox not just going for this, given the fact that he's leveled Sonagaya. Doesn't have a lot of damage available to him. Of course, Power Cleave or Feel, it looks like Power Cleave will be level 5 at this point. Fearless level 2. Here we go. Does he have the Lawbringer available to him? Yes, he does. Ultimate for ultimate is going to be used, but Dry Bear, that's a 75-second cooldown for Hyrox, as opposed to a rather normal 90-second cooldown for Lawbringer.
Yeah, so he's going to have that small window to be able to try and jump in on him and try to get the kill. And, he's going to have to coordinate with Shadow Nightmare. But again, with the fact that he can jump out of the ultimate if it's not used in that small window, and the fact that he has that Sonagaya means that if he doesn't get the kill, that Sonagaya is going to help him regenerate right back up. And, of course, he's safe from Freya in the jungle. So Game Hunter has gone for the non-aggressive safe farm here. Impale left side, Desert Fury on Zimstar, and Tusk coming out here. Will it be enough damage? It looks like one more spill will come through. He jumps over it, but the minions finish him off as he lands. Apollo, he wants it. Emilito in trouble here. The passive is active. Can he go up on the cloud? One shot will do it. He needs one shot to get it. He doesn't get it in time. Regeneration on top of the somersault cloud. Banish come out from Cubo. Fred looks like jump on top here. Shadow Nightmare getting the damage out. Funball somehow, someway, still alive. Emilito diving through the tower to just use bird form. He's going to make it to the tier 2 tower. Lobster doesn't get credit for it in time. Uses the ultimate. But it's
Raise
not
your
enough.
Emilitos.
Absolutely wonderful.
Incredible play. Back and forth. Gives the tower away. Now, of course, it looks to me that Lobster did manage to get an assist for that. So some gold was earned, but no experience. And that's kind of what he was looking for. Spoo getting pressured by 2 here. Recall Demons. Shadow Nightmare actually going to miss the banish there. Cubo Fred banished, or rather stunned out as they turn their sights onto Freya. This should be a kill now. He's up into the air. Can he earn 1 for 1? He's one hit. He finds it before he goes down. And he's going to be able to turn that around. I don't understand how Torch is able to do these things today.
That was literally the exact amount of damage that Shadow Nightmare needed. He lands down and gets one shot. And honestly, Cubo Fred, he needed some distance and he couldn't find it. So as Shadow Nightmare comes back down from Valkyrie's discretion, gets the kill on Cubo Fred, turning it into a 1-for-1. Shadow Nightmare going for that early Fatalis start, trying to pick up his damage early, and then going into the more expensive items thereafter. Impale not available from Funball, just uses to clear the way. There's the Jingle Bang and one shot from Funball. Zimstar is just not having a good day, man. He is just getting abused everywhere he goes with that early start of Watcher's Gift into the Midas boots. He's got a lot of gold gain, but not as tanky as he would like, and he's falling behind level 7 right now, lowest farm in the game. In fact, he's behind Emilito by 600 gold, even though Emilito went for 1 stacking gold item and Zimstar went for 2. Because of the early start, there goes Desert Fear, left side, Young Bay being picked off. This left lane is on fire for Torch.
You get it? High Rock in a lot of trouble now. No mana to be found. Shadow Nightmare's going to get in. A 5-pull banish right there, including the cat. Game Hunter's trying to get back in, but that is going to be an ultimate wasted. And High Rock, thanks to the magic of Freya, is going to be able to get out of that one. Emilito is stuck between a rock and some minions as he's trying to burn his way through. Zimstar, is he looking for the belly flop? It looks like the Somersault Cloud's going to get out. And again, with no mana and no health, he'll be able to get out of there. Young Bay doesn't look like he's going up into the sky here, so he's going to be able to escape again. 4-7. Experience difference is even, about 700 gold in favor of Torch. It's a very close game.
So close. Absolutely just dead even right now in the overall sense, but not in the individual sense. We know Lobster here on Zeus so farmed. In fact, he's going to be 500 gold ahead of the highest farmed on Torch. He's getting a very good early start here. And as we know, as we saw in the last match, Zeus getting an early start is so very detrimental. You can't let it have advantage coming out here. Bastet comes in. A bit of a missed call there as the Banish prevents the exposed evil coming out there. There goes ultimate. Zeus ultimate coming down. 3 charges, and it will not be enough. Needs a little bit more damage here. Baka shows up late to the party, and he didn't bring any drinks here. Nothing to happen. Nothing to come through, and that's going to be the end of that engagement. High Rock taking advantage of the rotation coming out from Game Hunter, trying to push down this right side tower. He might even get it. Odin Shout does fall off. The minions are coming through. Game Hunter's going to come and rotate over, and High Rock not committing all the way. He could have got that.
I think he could have too, but I respect the retreat there. Sure. The risk versus reward. I mean, if you get a tower for yourself, sure, it's a bonus in gold, but you can't really ever get that kill back. He can answer back with the tower, which kind of reduces the overall amount of gold that your team really earns from the tower. So I think I respect him walking away there and just playing the long game.
Sure. So we're going to see both mids here to actually start with the same build with that Mantrops 1. Lobster in trouble mid lane. Volley flop Intoxicate. Freya looking for the kill. Can she get it? She needs a little more damage. She doesn't have it. Lands inside of tower range. There goes Belch got stunned. Primed up early by Zimstar. Good play there. How in the world have we had no towers go down so far? Lobster barely surviving that engagement. Young Bay having trouble holding on to the left lane. Funball had such a great start so far. 6,300 gold for him. Young Bay at 6,200 to 100 gold difference. This tower is under pressure. The last big minion tanking it up. Funball out of range. Trying to get this down. Right side tower will go down. Left tower is on its last breath. That is a sneeze away from going down. High Rock unpressured, and Game Hunter I mean, he's being forced back. He went for Blink, as you expect him to do, so he can't use that teleport or sprint to get back to lane in time. That tower will go down. Torch getting a bigger lead starting out here, 1,700 gold in the lead. Now, keep in mind, they still have a lot of gold on Lobster, but at the same time, the overall goal is more important for Torch right now. And of course, Hunter versus Hunter on her is a bit ahead as well. So as this mid-state transition comes out, Torch is going to look to take out that tier 1 tower on the left. Pay attention to that. And then right after that, if they get a single pick, they may even go for a Gold Fury.
Gold Fury with the cats is so strong. You throw the cats down for the tank, and by the time people really even react, you still have the chance to turn on them. No one on your team is taking damage. Granted, you're going to lose that damage for the team fight itself, but forcing people to jump in and try to steal it and possibly even bait into a kill would be a really, really strong play right now for Cubo Fred, and he needs that. But look at the board. You can see multiple sentry wards coming out here. We have 2 just around the Gold Fury. That was because he was able to pick up his level 3 eye much sooner than Zimstar. And you can see Zimstar actually is a level behind on Sovereignty and 2 levels behind on Hand of the Gods. Now with that Odin shout, they can really work their way over and go for it. Now Zim's in trouble here. Banish into the cat right there. One of my favorite combos, but they've been drinking. And when you drink, the first thing you want to do is jump into a giant thunderstorm. Shadow Nightmare is going to be forced out of this one. But Funball is able to rotate in and trade that in a 1-for-1. Cubo is inside. Emilito's in a lot of trouble there. He gets picked off immediately, but so does Lobster. Now they're going to turn their sights to Cubo Fred. Game Hunter in there, only going to find one with the Fearless. They're going to turn their sights right over this way. Lawbringer's going to be not good there. Funball's just going to force him out inside the tower. They're chasing down Cubo, who does get picked off. And again, Torch finds a 3-for-2.
Spook getting away from there. The Game Hunter coming around, wants to get in the blink. Honestly, should be off cooldown by now. Looks like it's not, though. Looking for Spook. Expose Evil. Goes away from that. Avoids the dash, but now in more trouble here. Spook coming around. Do they have the distance? Hyrock is there. Looking for the Fearless. Gets stunned out by Book of Demons. Fearless comes out. The power cleave is going to be enough. That was almost a top 5 play with that stun there, but gets picked off by Game Hunter. And you could tell, Hyrock was doing the best that he possibly could, but Game Hunter cannot be deterred once he sets his sight on his dinner, and that is going to be Zhang Kui. So a good follow-up kill from TSM, but Torch now in the lead, 3,300 gold after 3 Tier 1 towers have been taken down. But as I say that, 3,000 gold is what they're getting from towers, and 3,000 gold is what they're up right now. So they're just tower difference ahead, plus about 500 in change. So they need objectives. Looks like Gold Fury may be started here by TSM. Jimp is starting up here, looking for the harassment from Lobster. Banish comes out there. There goes the Pulse to Radiate. Lobster taking some harassment, looking for Shadow Nightmare. Will he go up in the air? He's going to get forced out. Bastet comes out, but he dies before he gets there. There goes the Spears coming out from Odin. Zimstar forced out here. That's 2 ultimates down for Torch. TSM looking for a good initiation. It looks like they're going to find it. Funball forced out. Good zoning from TSM. That's exactly what they need. Double detonate, triple detonate on Emilito in front of the Gold Fury. This is going to turn into a free Gold Fury. Spoo late to the party here as he is not able to respawn in time. TSM recognized it. They're going to get it.
They should have really tried to defend this. Still no level 3 Hand of the Gods, but the Lightning Storm going to put on some procs there. Spoo, yeah, going to be forced him to jump back. The Gold Fury has been destroyed, and just like that, the gold difference is separated again, back down to 1,600. Right there, I think Shadow Nightmare got greedy. He waited way too long to go up. He tried to put way too much damage into the Pulse and Radiate combo. Had he gone up earlier, I think that would have been in favor of Torch, but of course, hindsight is often 20/20, and really, there's not really much he could have done about it that late into it. Hyrock and Game Hunter, again, going at it, both level 16. I think this is going to be our slap fight. Neither of them are doing very much damage to each other at all.
Yeah, it's very limited and not really a big gain for them either way. And honestly, that's kind of the story of this match here is they have a good split of damage and tankiness on the right characters. Like, as those itemizations starts evolving here, you're going to see Young Bay go for Rage, going to pick that up early, going for the attack speed to leverage his passive, that audacity to double the attack speed and get a lot out of it. We're going to see Sovereignty almost done for Zimstar, but already ahead of the pack is going to be Emilito. Emilito and Zimstar are 1,000 gold apart right now. Zimstar falling behind, and Emilito finishing that Sovereignty makes a big difference. That aura is so very valuable You saw it utilized in not in the last engagement, but the engagements before that as Sovereignty making such a big difference. But, you know, it seemed like Torch just wasn't ready. And with that delayed pick on Spoo, it's something that a lot of people need to understand is that disjoint respawns are so valuable. If you lose a big engagement and then about 30 seconds later somebody dies, that means that he's going to be delayed from the respawn there. It's difficult to win team fights when you're waiting for one person to come back. Lobster in trouble, trapped inside the rings. That kid's going to come down soon, but it's not going to save him. Desert for your left side. Cubo and Lobster might go down together in tandem. There's Cubo mid lane. Lobster goes down as well. Apollo's up in the air to him. It's going to crash down from above. Can Torch take this victory?
Check this out. In the backline, Emilito just sticking to Zimstar. Shadow Nightmare throwing out all kinds of gumballs, every flavor possible, and finds himself a banish. Bellyflop's going to get him out. Hyrox super low right now. Youngbei actually not only manages to save a few members of his teams, but he actually earns a kill in the process for them as well. So Youngbei right now still pretty high in the health department. Game Hunter jumping in to get some damage healed up there, but I don't think that was a smart call. They recognized the heal instantaneously, and he goes down.
Torch is looking so sharp today, DM, and I'm really impressed with how they're playing. And honestly, with the fact they rotated everything seems to be falling in its place. The roster before is usually, you know, you're looking for Hyra coming out of the jungle, missing ultimates or something along those lines. Of course, Spoo in the solo lane. Seems like he's not, you know, he has a strong early game. He wasn't able to leverage that when he was in the solo lane. You put Shadow Nightmare in the jungle, a huge presence coming out from Freya. The damage output is huge. Look at the numbers here. We're going to see, actually, wow, 10,000 damage dealt by Zhong Kui. We see, you know, below that about 9,000 for both Fumble and Shadow Nightmare. But look across the way. Lobster dropping 18,000 damage on the charts right now. That's Zeus. And he has an early start. And regardless of the fact that Torch is ahead right now by 2,800 gold, Lobster is nearly tying Spoo for gold gain.
Oh, speaking of which, Lobster chasing him down, missing so many shots. Spoo, it must be the shoes.
It's the shoes.
It's got to be.
Always
Mid towers down here. Lobster doesn't really have a lot of defense. You see both Emilito and Spoo in the mid lane with rotations coming out from Shadow Nightmare and Funball. Everyone's kind of grouping up for a Powo in the mid lane. Gold Fury still lit up for 1:25, so I don't know what they're really looking for as we hit stasis.
The greatest dance I've ever seen. Freya
It's a
do.
pretty good dance.
Look at that side shuffle. Zhong Kui, dude, he is getting ready to get some workouts. He is getting to go. So we're going to cut to a technical difficulties here, screen guy. We're going to get this all sorted out for you. You're watching TSM versus Torch. We're going to get this sorted very quickly, and we'll be right back. He was sitting there, and you saw him sitting on the wall. He's like, I need to hog this fire giant, but I am not healthy enough to do it. And he's waiting for the belly flop over the wall to secure it, but you know, TSM needed to recognize that. They need to realize that they're 19-11 right now. Look at the gold difference. They're 9,300 gold apart. Torch doesn't even follow up with the Fire Giant, but, you know, that was their opportunity to get the Fire Giant, and Shadow Nightmare reads it and shuts it down early. You follow up with Emilito, the great blink in from Hyrox, and I think this is what Torch was needed. That roster swap, not the roster swap up, but the role swap up where they kind of rotate everyone around. This is the magic number right now. Hyrox in the solo. Well, a million times more effective than the jungle, and things are working out for him.
Do you think that this was intended to be a permanent switch? Do you think they're just doing this to mess with the solo and mid laners to have them build accordingly? Honestly, I'm thinking this should be permanent. Shadow Nightmare's jungling is incredible.
I think this is exactly what Torch needed, and you know, Shadow Nightmare was great in the mid lane, but a lot of times he was playing junglers in the mid lane. Here goes Cubo, Fred up in the sky, the lightning's coming down, Tear jumping in as well, the Fire Giant goes to the Torch, Spoo very low, the detonate's not available, just it actually goes out, it does a whole lot. Youngbei coming from above, crashing down to earth, looking for Zhong Kui, not gonna find Desert Fury comes out as well. The Jingle Bang is not gonna have the distance, Sprint is activated by Apollo on her, jumping over, Zimstar goes down, and the trap from Hyrox, bite me, my ravens will feast on eyeballs and entrails as Tear goes down. A 4-for-1 exchange. Youngbei, the only one to survive due to his natural shoes and sprint activation. I mean, this is the driving strike here coming down the center of the map. Torch is looking for that big victory against TSM, and they've earned it.
Emilito runs right in, undeterred by the Phoenix damage. He's just going to go in. Youngbei's trying to find something here. So Beautiful's going to land, but it's not going to do enough. One delicious shot coming out from Onher is going to send Youngbei back with his tail between his legs to heal up. Look at the damage that one crit, that was a 10% chance to crit. Actually, I'm sorry, he has Malice. That was a 50% chance to crit. But still, without Deathbringer, threw it down and really just burned him. Overall, right now, we're seeing a 12,000 gold, 13.6 thousand experience difference, and they have the Fire Giant. Only Spoo is the person on the torch who doesn't have FG, but he doesn't need it. He's insanely tanky as Zhang Kuei. Not to mention, looking at the board here, you can see the Focus Voidstone and the Breastplate of Valor are already done.
Yep, very tanky, but also has the damage output available. And you also have to factor in the Demon Bag that he has in his passive, adding more protections to his overall kit. And it just makes it so hard to deal with a tanky Zhang Kuei that's also healing himself up with Exorcism, now the Fire Giant buff, and the fact that he went for that Breastplate of Valor and the Focus Voidstone, add on the damage to the Fire Giant, that levels him out really, really well. A great balance of damage and protection, as well as his passive and ultimate. It makes him so deadly. At this point, Torch is sitting 23-12. Like you mentioned, 13.5k in the lead, hitting that level 20 mark. Soon the experience won't matter for Torch, but TSM, they're lagging behind here. They don't have the amount of effectiveness they need, and, you know, Torch is looking so strong right now, and that's exactly what they needed. Looking at the charts here, I mean, you know that they need the 60 points. They're looking for grand finals. High Rock from up behind gets the arena down. Zimstar surrounded. Cubo Fred burst it down immediately. Spoo gets the damage out. There's Recall. Demon's Peak. That CC immunity is going to be enough. Youngbei jumping the backside, but it's too much. They're going to turn on him immediately. Shadow doing damage here. They're blocking. They're body blocking. They're surrounding Youngbei in a sea of red. Spoo gets to slow. The Book of Demons is too much for him to deal with, and Game Hunter comes out trying to save this fight, but it's not enough. Nothing is left to salvage, and TSM looks like they're going to be falling, and they're going to defend their Titan anyway. The Titan of Order is under pressure here. It's dropping low. I don't see TSM take this down. Torch is going to take this game 12-26. They finally get another victory, going on to the grand finals. Give it up for Torch.
I can't even understand the domination that just went down from Torch just due to a simple lineup switch. And not even a lineup switch, they just switched where they were going. Shadow Nightmare jumped out of the mid lane, went into the jungle. Spoo goes into the mid lane. High Rock from the jungle goes into the solo lane, all of whom dominated their respective roles.